Welcome to the channel. This is Geauxgreddy and welcome to the road to Gran Turismo 7. It is round number 3 and tonight we are at the RedBull Ring short track and we are in the 6-speed shifter karts. That's right, plenty of chaos and action as these little karts are a handful to handle around this track. So stick around, check it out. Alright, this is my third go at it, and when the lobby opens up, I am once again in the top split. Had some pretty bad luck the first 2 races. I kept crashing, so hopefully the third time is a charm. Let's head out to Qualifier. First race, I had a 53.2, the second race a 53 flat, and I'm sitting on a 53.7 right now, so I need to put some work in to try and bring that lap time down so I can secure me a spot up near the front of the grid and avoid as much as the mayhem in the back of the grid as possible. So coming around through here through corner 1, I don't actually have a slipstream. Was kind of hoping for one, but I'm a little too far off the 2 kart racers there in front of me. So I just got to concentrate on putting in a good lap and trying to beat the 53.748. It felt to me like the race lobby was just a little bit slower than the time trial lobby. Maybe because the tire wear was on in this race, but that didn't really make much sense for qualifying because tire wear and fuel is off. But regardless, the track did feel a little bit slower to me for some reason. Anyway, do manage to catch the slipstream of Mogoyan, whatever you say, and able to put in a 53.457. So that would be good enough for qualifying in 5th position. So as we look at the grid, let's talk a little bit about the strategy for this race. It is an open tuning race, and in the karts, that means you can tune the transmission. So I went with the transmission flip with my tune. So I moved the final gear all the way over the left, switched my transmission to 137 miles an hour, and then set my gears to, I think it's like 4.652. And just kind of adjusted them from there to where I liked it. I like that a little bit better than the other tunes that they were running. It just didn't seem quite as torquey out of the corners. So that allowed me to keep the kart underneath me a little bit better, just a little more stable for me. Also with my Fanatec CSL Elite, I went from auto sensitivity to 700, so a 700-degree rotation on the wheel. That helped with the twitchiness of the karts. And I changed my in-game settings to 3 for torque and 7 for sensitivity. Again, that helped with the twitchiness of the karts. As far as tire wear, it's a 10x tire wear. Around lap 16 or so, I felt a little bit of tire wear. Nothing too serious, just enough to maybe adjust your braking, maybe your turn in just a tiny bit around lap 16 or so. Fuel usage, there is none, so there is no need to pit stop. So I guess you could say the strategy for this race: get in the slipstream of the guy in front of you, go as fast as you can, try not to crash, and hopefully you come out the end with a good position. Let's get on to the race. All right, so here we go. We've got the countdown, the 3, 2, 1, and we are on our way. Corner 1, pretty tough. I mean, the tires are a little bit cold coming into corner 1. The kart, like I said, it felt a little bit more sluggish than it did in the time trial lobby. So we really got to get down through corner 1 alive. I thought I did okay there. A little bit slow as Dr. Ironwood. Looks like he had a little trouble there in corner 1. Gets out of line, but tucks back in behind Turismo Lester there as we head down to start the S's. And I'm a little hesitant as I crashed first lap last race from P5, this very same spot. So I was a little careful through that section, make sure I did not do again. Now I am still in the slipstream at this point, but I'm lift a little too much right here and lose a little too much speed coming out of there, and that's going to cost me as my rhythm is a little bit off. So I went through the final corner a little bit slow. So I'm not carrying quite as much speed as I need to maintain the slipstream of Dr. Ironwood, who is in the slipstream of B-Wan Jammy, who is in the slipstream of Turismo Lester, and he's, of course, in the slipstream of VQS Drifter. And those 2 guys up front are pretty darn quick. And I tell you what, Jammy is pretty fast in the karts. He was putting down some really good times in the practice lobbies the other night. And from what I understand, Dr. Ironwood runs a lot of kart races and kart leagues. So I'm in pretty good company here, sitting in the top 5. Nothing to scoff at. Top split lobby. I'm like, I could be okay right here the rest of the race. I'll take a P5, and because it will most likely, more likely than not, beat the 229 points that I have currently, and will allow me to move up maybe a little bit in the point rankings. Get a little bit squirrely there, but VQS Drifter went wide, and I get a Geauxgreddy pass. So pick up my first Geauxgreddy pass of the night on VQS Drifter. Now, he only fell about 1.3 seconds back, so most likely we will see Mr. Drifter again. B1 Jammy now gets a penalty coming out of that corner. I guess he went a little wide on corner 1, but then he makes contact with Dr. Ironwood, and Ironwood goes wide. It manages to be able to keep it on track, but Geauxgreddy all of a sudden has managed to find his way into P2 here in slot 3 in the top split. The sun is shining on this K9's ass, I gotta tell you. Things are looking up. Now I've got Turismo Lester in front of me. He's about 2.7 seconds out. Now I ran a 54 there. You can see his fastest time of 53.190. Funny enough, he's about 8/10 quicker than me in the time trial too. So not shocking there. If you look behind me, Jammy gets loose, hits the wall. So rip Jammy. That's gonna hurt his race output right there. So again, not looking terrible for me. I've got 5/10, almost 6/10 on Dr. Ironwood. Now I am falling back from Turismo Lester, which is not shocking, but not terrible either. So all I got to do is just, like I said, maintain this position, keep my head down, and then all of a sudden here comes Dr. Ironwood, gets in the backside of me just before that final corner. I'm able to hold on to, then he hits me right before the final corner. Now I'm sure he's probably a little bit quicker than me through there. I mean, he is a karter. From what I understand, he does kart league racing, so I'm not quite as sure-footed in these karts as he is, but he is bump drafting me towards turn 1. So I take turn 1. I slowed it down a little bit. Now, I don't know what happened to Dr. Ironwood there. He falls off. I don't know if he moved over for VQS Drifter, but regardless, I'm not going to battle VQS Drifter through this corner of the track. I'm only on lap 5 of 20, and I am right now sitting in P3, nearly guaranteed 4th place at this point. As you can see, we are really pulling away from the rest of the field. So I'm feeling really good about my race position. I'm in the slipstream of VQS Drifter. I'm starting to feel comfortable in the kart, kind of starting to relax here. And get a little tap there again from Dr. Ironwood. Come through the last corner a little bit better than before. Now, Drifter, not one of his best corners. So rather than try and go around him, I just go ahead and bump draft him. Like I said, Drifter's really fast. So if I get out in front of him, I'm probably just going to end up slowing all 3 of us down. So I'm not going to be a slipstream superhero. I'm just going to bump draft and just keep on going and just try and stay in the slip for as long as I can. Put as much gap as I can between me and the rest of the field, so if I make any mistakes, they won't be able to come back on me. Now, as we head through the S's, Dr. Ironwood really gets a good run, hits me from behind, which causes my kart to jump and gives me a half-second penalty, as you see right there. So by him bump drafting me there in the S's, it knocks me wide, causing me to take a half-second penalty. And it gets me off rhythm. I took that corner terrible. Now I'm really kind of aggravated, to be honest with you, because I'm like, oh, why did you have to hit me right there? But he did have it. I mean, he had a really good run. He went wide on the corner. Now, see, I was taking the S's a little more narrow because people are always trying to dive bomb through there. So I was just trying, I don't know. I got in the habit of taking it a little bit narrower. So I let him by there. I'm like, you know what? You're going to be quicker than me. I don't want you bump drafting me anywhere again, knocking me off track. So I let him on go. Plus, I still had to serve my penalty, so I was just going to hang out in the slipstream for as long as I can. So now we serve our penalty. Now, I didn't realize that this penalty would cost me so much time. As you can see, P5 there, 0.6 seconds now behind me. So that they were able to get back into the slipstream. Now, I was doing just fine up there without VQS Drifter and Dr. Ironwood, who are both very fast. They've actually slowed me down here and caused me now to be caught by P5 and P6. and I know they didn't do it on purpose. It's just, I'm like, it's just so aggravating that, I had my nice little gap set. I was nice and comfortable. I was in the slipstream. Everything was looking good. Now I've got 2 people on my rear bumper on lap 8 instead of, honestly, I should be like, well, you can see, like almost to the second to last turn instead of where I am right now. So he looks down the inside, doesn't quite have the top end to get by the Geauxgreddy tune right there. So able to hold him off as we head towards the second to last turn here on lap number 8. And as we head onto the straight, it looks like Nightly Sarcasm willing to work with Geauxgreddy here a little bit, maybe try and catch Dr. Ironwood. So on to lap number 12, and it's been kind of a bump draft fest here between the 3 of us. We've been just bump drafting all the way up to here to get a little side-by-side action here into the S's. No major carnage as QC Alex, or ALX, I'm not sure if it's really supposed to be Alex, he backs out and slips in right behind. So good clean driving there from the QC driver. Heading into the final turn, you see Dr. Ironwood gets a little wide there out on the green stuff, comes back on, and then I get in a slipstream. Of course, then he moves all the way over to the right, and I'm like, oh, geez, one of those guys. So I don't worry about it. I just move back towards the center. It's lap 14. We got a lot of time to go. He's got a half-second penalty. So I slide in here, and then he takes the corner terribly, slides back in front of me, and slows me down. So I'm like, this guy. He could cost me more time. I think he would. But again, like I said, I know he's not doing it on purpose. It's just aggravating. So he is going to serve his penalty here and drop off behind us. Now I'm in the slipstream of Nightly Sarcasm, and I am a little bit concerned about Dr. Ironwood getting back into my slipstream, but he is currently out of it as he's 1 second back. So we got to put our head down and see what we can get done. Just then, Nightly Sarcasm picks up a penalty, and, well, on this next lap, he serves it. But, I'm able to get back into the slipstream, but unfortunately, it doesn't do me a whole lot of good as I'm just really struggling here through this last corner for some reason. As you can see, I hit the little bumps there. I have to let off the gas onto lap number 17. And I've actually lost the slipstream of those 2 as they were working together and were starting to pull away from me. I was like, this is so aggravating. But then Nightly Sarcasm goes off the left, and I get another Geauxgreddy pass. So back up into P4. And maybe a chance for P3s. I've got QC ALX in my sights, but 1.6 second gap with only 3.5 laps to go. Not sure if I can pull it off. So fast forward to lap number 18, 1.6 seconds has turned into 1.4 seconds, so was able to knock off a little bit of time. On to lap number 19, 1.4 seconds down to 1 second. So Geauxgreddy is almost in the slipstream, heading towards the final lap. And on the final lap, I'm now within the slipstream, heading towards the penultimate corner. Can I get it done here in the last 2 corners? Can I get on the podium here in the top split? First podium ever in top split. Get on the brakes, head through the final corner. I got to run on QC Alex, but just not quite enough as I crossed the line with a P4. So pretty good race. Picked up 1 position overall. A little aggravating at times, but it was still fun. I still had a good time out there. A lot of side-by-side action going on. And so got 248 points. Did beat my 229, so hey, an improvement in my overall standings. You can see right there. I'm sorry, it wasn't 229, it was 227, so that 248 still beats it. But together, total 497 points. So hope you enjoyed the race. Hope you enjoyed the action. If you did, hit the like and or subscribe. Come back, check out some more. For myself, Geauxgreddy, y'all have a great evening. DJ Clean, take us out of here.